Yeah, the real world, the law of evidence, planting evidence. There's all kinds of evidence. Is it usable evidence? Is it what we call admissible, or is it inadmissible? Um, is your is your content and your testimony relevant, or is it irrelevant? Irrelevant means it doesn't pertain to the situation or the case or the context or whatever. And relevant means that it pertains to whatever is going on in the case, whatever the case may be. And when things are admissible in court or inadmissible, that means they're also relevant or irrelevant. So, deciding what's admissible or inadmissible, you really got to say if the evidence has to track to a clear fundamental principle of law. Okay, and just maybe the laws are wrong, but maybe they're not. Depends. Uh, you have to say that what life is, what existence is, and what we know evidentially about our reality, and if it's even real. Then you have to base it on principles. You have to build those principles up into a hierarchy, and then you take that hierarchy and you turn it into a system. And then you use it to survive. And then you also use it for law reasons and to protect people and to protect yourself. But it's a system of fundamentals and principles. It all comes from math, statistics, measurements, medical measurements, physiological measurements, pathophysiological measurements, biological measurements, machines, computer technology, different reactors and different types of theories and reactions. And the theory is important because if the theory is not right, which actually currently in today there's some bad theory, we're discovering that they're often wrong about, like, especially Ohm's law. They're wrong about certain physics, and they don't apply. And they've been teaching people for a long time, for at least 100 or more years, that these certain laws of physics, these proportional laws, were directly proportional in all cases. And they're not. There are cases where they don't even work whatsoever. Many cases. Ohm's law does not work in many cases. And there are other laws. Einstein's mass energy equivalence, that doesn't work either. That's not true. Uh, there's different reasons to invalidate things. You have to really do your research, but it can be done with a basic education. You can figure out how to destroy the lies of the world with a high school diploma. A good high school diploma in basic physics and chemistry and anatomy and physiology. You can figure this stuff out. Basic math, algebra, trigonometry, calculus, geometry. You can do this if you really try. It will take a lot of time, but you can learn how this system really works and if it does or doesn't. Law is very serious, and evidence can be plantable. People can tell lies about you. You can be found guilty of things you never did, and I want to defend against that. I don't ever believe in being convicted of a crime when I didn't do it. That's atrocious. I don't like crime at all. I just want to be a happy man. But you can't live in this world without being a victim these days. I mean, everybody is pissed. They're all having medical issues. All the poor people in the world are having troubles. It's all around the world. You never know when you're going to be victimized, but you need to try to do your best. That's the answer, is do your best and try to be honest. But you can't take witness testimony, eyewitness, ear witness testimony necessarily for valid. You have to start using cameras and recording devices. And then you have to use explanations. And you have to use diagrams and drawings and pictures and images and physical measurements. You have to show the basis of reality, and then thereafter. You have to do this in order to measure out crime, because it's so complicated and it's so sophisticated in the way of crime and physics and the laws of nature and life, that people are getting away with all kinds of shit today. Not only are they getting away with it, some people are actually want to stop it, and they can't because it's too complicated. So we're being obstructed in every way that's possible. We don't have money. We're fighting the law system without any money. We're not getting any money. We're not being supported to make these medical measurements or these chemical measurements or biological measurements or physical measurements. We're not being able to prove. Only certain rich people are doing this, and they might be telling lies because they support an agenda. Like Elon Musk recently told us we were living in a simulation. I happen to disagree. We are not. It may be a form of its own simulation called the Big Crunch and the Big Bang, but it's not a simulation as in a matrix. There are multiple kinds of matrices. We are basically living off of particles. Our whole existence is about space, possibly made of particles itself, dead particles, and all kinds of other particles that make up atoms. And we may be in a multiverse that is interdimensional, like a string theory, where universes can live inside of particles. So that's my fundamental basis. I can't guarantee that because it's almost impossible to know. But if you do your thinking, all particles in mathematics are divisible infinitely. They can be divided to any size that you can possibly come up with. So, like, that's not the point. But right now, people are going crazy in the world. There's a lot of shit going on every single day, and it has been going on for a long time. The world is in a silent war and a real war. Everybody is pissed. Everybody's fucked up. Everybody's ignorant. Everybody wishes they could do more. Everybody's sad. Everybody's happy. Everybody's going crazy. Everybody's sick and tired. Everybody wants it all to stop. So this is where you're at with law. My name's Leonard Yance Jr. I live in Indiana in the United States.